These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, June 23rd, 9:18 p.m. So if anything drops at midnight when we stop recording, we apologize. This is going out on Sunday, which is when you're hearing it. We're recording on Friday, so apologies in advance. A lot of stuff has gone on since the last time we put out a podcast. We put out plenty of videos on everything. We put out a couple emergency pods on audio platforms as well. So if you're looking for comments about that, check there. We'll obviously talk about that stuff here though, because it's the first full-length chance we've had to talk about it. So we might as well start with what's in everybody's mind. Marcus Smart is no longer a Boston Celtic, and that kind of sucks. That not great. Sam and I gave our thoughts on it in the video, instant reaction. We put that out ASAP after the move.
Terrible. I had to get out of bed. Mm-hmm. I was upset. What a way that unraveled, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we all knew something was coming, whether it was good news or bad news by midnight, because you knew the Porzingis contract opt-in was the deadline, right?
I didn't even consider it as a possibility is my thing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think it is an option, which is what hurts most. And I think it would have hurt less if I didn't know that they had another deal in place that they had to scrap. You know what I'm saying?
Because we were amped. We were like, problem solved, Brogdon gone.
Exactly. I think I would have rationalized it more if it was okay, this is what needed to be done. But it's not what needed to be done. The Clippers are just rats, and they ruined it. And they ruined my life. But I said this on the podcast. It's good value. If you really want to take off the green glasses and look at it from a value standpoint, they traded, after all the draft trades, they traded Marcus Smart and a second rounder for Kristaps Porzingis, a first round pick, Jordan Walsh, and 4 second-round picks. Objectively, that's really good value. It just sucks. And the reason it was really good value is because of the player you're getting in Marcus Smart, who is amazing human off the court, amazing player on the court. I mean, it's way overblown and way overstated, but the heart and soul of the Celtics, truly was what it was. He was.
Altogether,
and it sucks that
great
he's gone.
Guy.
Just
great
a good
Celtic.
dude. Just an awesome human.
You know what sucks is now this is probably the last two guys now that really cared about being on the Celtics that they shafted. Him and Isaiah really, more than anybody, stood out as great Celtics to at least me. Mm-hmm. And they both kind of got the shaft. I mean, Isaiah's a lot of the shafting came afterwards, where it was he got injured and they didn't really reveal how serious the injury was right away. And all of that looks terrible. Make no mistake. And now Anthony Davis's dad is rock hard as they trade Marcus Smart away, who is essentially going to be the next great team legend. Whether that means from a skill set, not really. But had they won a title, his number goes up and he's remembered for being a Celtic.
Yes.
That's all scrapped now. And it felt like they were really close to doing so, which is probably why this hurts more.
It's also probably why it happened, right? Because they got so close and they were never able to go to
desperate.
The hump, it feels like
they feel like they have to get over the hump.
I don't know if desperation is the word, but I mean, we talked about it when the offseason opened. If there was a piece of this core that was going to go, it was going to be Marcus. I just didn't think Brad would pull the trigger, honestly. And I will say the other part of this is, do you remember 2 years ago when Brad Stevens took over as GM? I remember us having this conversation. And the conversation was,
yes, yeah.
Is Brad Stevens too close to the players to where he wouldn't be willing to make a big time trade for the improvement of the team? The answer is no. Clearly, he's not. He's willing to do what it takes. Like I said, Marcus in a second for Kristaps Porzingis, Jordan Walsh, a first round pick in 4 seconds. Objectively good value. And we'll talk about the seconds as we go along here, Sam. They're not bad seconds. And as much as you don't love the value of seconds as seconds, it's Dallas's 24 second, the best of Detroit's, Golden State's, or Washington's 25 second. So that's effectively it's
going to be Washington.
Exactly. The best of Minnesota's, New Orleans, New York's, or Portland's 2026 second, and then Atlanta's 2027 second. So even if you don't want to rationalize them as actual picks, those are pretty good trade chips to use in future deals. And we'll get to that. But
I say
regardless,
more so than that than actual picks.
That's what I mean.
We watched the second round last night. It was fucking miserable. It was terrible. It was the worst. The NBA draft is the worst.
Yeah.
Please, if you're in the comments and you remember this in a year, don't let us get excited for the draft next year because it is not worth it. It was terrible.
I will say,
sat here for 3.5 hours on the stream, speechless. I was eating apples, strawberries, yogurts. Jack went away for a bit. He was writing articles. It was a disastrous night in terms of
4-hour stream.
We thought it would end, and then it didn't end, and we thought it would end again, and then they traded again, and it was just a brutal sit through waiting for they got a super cool second round pick. Great, fantastic. Whatever.
I will say they traded Marcus Smart. At least they didn't trade him for Jordan Poole. hey.
That is part of this. Yeah. That might have been my hang it up moment.
I will say
that is
I do wonder
Spider-Man 2 quits being Spider-Man, throws the suit in the trash, doesn't care anymore moment.
This is
if they trade Marcus Smart for Jordan Poole.
This is stemming from Jake Fisher's report that the Celtics had conversations about Poole. I do wonder whether that was Smart for Poole or Brogdon for Poole. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I do
Somebody
wonder.
Replied to my tweet about that today.
Like, I wonder if it was like, maybe I'm crazy. Marcus for Porzingis, Walsh, and picks is one thing. Marcus for Jordan Poole is another, right? Like, realistically, I could have lived
borderline a negative contract at this point. Golden State treated him as if he was a negative asset.
I could have lived with Brogdon for Poole, though. I wouldn't have loved it, but I could have lived with it.
Brogdon for like a second, you'd be like, all right, cool.
This is true. I couldn't have lived with Smart for Poole. Marcus did post his goodbye message, which I can pull up on the screen here.
To the vibes today.
It hurt. It really hurt to read. Let me pull it up on the screen here quick. I thought I had it, but I don't know. Excuse me if I did. Also, something I'm seeing. This is Jake Issenberg of the First of the Floor podcast friend. Last 4 seasons, for those concerned about Porzingis injury history, Marcus has played 240 games in the last 4 seasons. Porzingis is at 216. So, like, realistically, it's not.
I mean, Porzingis is coming off a wonderful season.
He is. He's phenomenal.
How many games did he play?
65.
Yeah, good season. Washington certainly sold high and got Tyus Jones.
This is true, and off a contract. This is Marcus's message. I will read it out. It's long, so bear with me. Where do I even begin? As I start to think about the last 9 years, a lot of emotions running through me. I have a lot of emotions running through me, excuse me. I came to Boston as a naive kid from Dallas, not really knowing what to expect. All I knew was the type of work ethic my mama instilled in me, and I was going to work my ass off and make sure I earned the respect of each and every one of the fans in Boston, which is why this was tough. Boston, you're very special to me. I grew up here and met some of my best friends here. I will never forget my time here. Ultimately, we didn't get that 18th banner, but I'm very, very proud of the success we had. I'm going to miss so many things about Boston, but mainly my teammates, fans, and kids in our hospital charity work. It was a great 9 years in Boston. Boston, thank you for all the love, but now it's time to look forward. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Memphis, Grizzly Nation. I don't care. Sucks. That's just a blow. I will say, Jason Tatum posting to Instagram will link up soon, so maybe he'll be back eventually. But
Memphis is the closest team to St. Louis, so yeah.
To be honest, though, call me crazy and call me coping. I can't imagine he doesn't come back later. Like, I feel like after this contract's done, he's coming right back to Boston.
If I'm him, I'm saying go kick rock Celtics.
I think
as a fan, I feel like I want to say go kick rock Celtics for that.
Maybe.
So I can't imagine being the guy involved. It's really tough to just like, all right, Jack, this can be a segue if we want it to be. We can stay on Marcus.
We have more Brad comments from Marcus.
As much as the Brogdon stuff has been a factor, it's like, can he come back and play here after they reported that he was going to be traded? Never mind. Listen, the relationship's different, but never mind actually being traded on the cusp of winning a title and getting left out of that fun. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's something you forgive.
I know. Maybe, but it's we'll have to see. Brad had his post NBA draft presser, and he did talk about the Marcus trade. He said Brad was like tearing up talking about it. Like I said, it's a basketball movie. You can hate Brad for it. I know. You can hate Brad for it all you want. He has to make moves that are smart. Anybody around the league who's not a Celtics fan would make that trade. It just objectively.
There was the tweet wow, the Celtics got great value for Marcus Smart, and then it was Celtics fans. This is literally the worst day of our lives.
I know. That's exactly what it is. Brad saying he knows we'll do anything for him, but it was hard. Him saying you'll always have the relationship that will be forever. Brad Stevens said he got the chance to see Marcus at the facility the morning of the draft. The conversation was understandably brief. Quote from Brad, I told him when he got here, we were 25 and 57 the year before. The greatest legacy you can leave is to be someplace and it's better off because you were there. And I think that everybody here feels that way. I think that he will always be appreciated and thought of so fondly here for a number of reasons. Everybody loves the way he plays and how hard he plays, but also his work in the community. We're all really grateful to have had Marcus in our life for as long as we've had him and are sad to see him go, but know that he's going to have a huge impact on a really good Memphis team. Like I said, you can hate Brad for the move. It is his job to try to make the Celtics better. Taking off the Marcus Smart glasses, I think the Celtics are a better team with this, rounding out the roster. Brad talked about having to round out the roster, and he said, in order to do that, I knew we were going to have to lose a really, really good player. It just sucks that the really, really good player was Marcus Smart, which, like I said,
seems
sucks.
Unfair. I will say, I don't disagree with your feeling on that they can be a better team.
Mm-hmm.
The report came out from Brian Robb that the belief is they are not done yet.
Yes.
Making moves.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think they have work to do. I think they need more of a playmaking type guard to set up these other guys, the great scorers on the team.
That would be cool.
I mean, this is the situation where we talked about Chris Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were like,
exactly.
It allows you to be flexible and move off one of the other guards. We thought it would be Brogdon. It was not. And add to your team. And this is the type of situation we were talking about where, they added a big guy and they kind of needed it. They did it in a way where it filled a need that we didn't even know the team really had, or at least we didn't want to address it. We danced around the possibility of trading Horford this summer on this show, saying like maybe they should look at it. And now you kind of don't have to because you have somebody that can kind of step up and have his back and lighten the workload for him a bit. So that's a good thing. You still have Brogdon and White for now. I don't know what happens with Brogdon. I really don't.
We'll talk about
White
it.
Is, of course, a solid player.
Probably the starter.
And probably the starter. Do you want him to be the starting point guard, though, or do you think he's better off the ball? I think he has moments where he's great at both, where he gets to the rim and he slashes, but I don't know.
I think I'm fine with him.
To see him be the point guard.
And I think a lot of it is that he just didn't have the chance to. I think he will be a fine starting point guard. And I think that's probably the role he'll be given, and I think that's fine. But I also wouldn't be opposed for them like going after a starting point guard and having him come off the bench.
Anybody that you like?
Not really. Not that I'm seeing around the league, right? Like it's tough. A lot of teams want their point guards, and rightfully so. I will say, it sucks, but I do think it is our job to look at things a bit objectively, which means
absolutely not.
I just want to talk about Porzingis and try to separate Porzingis from the fact that the move's smart. You know what I'm saying? Like we should. The fact that they traded Smart, I feel like means a lot of people haven't talked about the fact that like Kristaps Porzingis is a really good player. Like they got a really good player. Like
they did off a great season.
There's obviously a lot of off the court stuff that makes it questionable, and that's obviously a valid concern. But in terms of the basketball product, like he is an all-star caliber center. He averaged 23, I think. Let me double check the stats here. Kristaps Porzingis last season with the Wizards averaged 23.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 1.5 blocks per game, and 0.9 steals on 49.8 shooting from the field, 38.5% shooting from three on 5.5 3-point attempts per game. He's really good. And not to mention, he is very good on defense, great at defending the pick and roll, great at the rim. He is 7 inches taller than Robert Williams. He is huge. As much as they hate the fact that they traded Marcus Smart, and don't get me wrong, it sucks. I love Marcus Smart. You love Marcus Smart. We all know this. Kristaps Porzingis is a phenomenal basketball player. So
yeah,
it's good addition.
He seems to be a great fit. Love that he can shoot the three. Fits into Missoula's 3-point. We love threes more than anything offense. And he's good in the pick and roll. We talked about this a bit on the reaction videos. A place where the Celtics got absolutely slaughtered in the playoffs was the pick and roll, the drop specifically. Horford got killed in switches. That's why Trae Young was so effective. That's why Harden had 2 40-point games. And against Miami, they kind of picked out on the switches as well. So having a guy to drop back and protect the rim that isn't Rob Williams is definitely helpful. It makes your defense that much better. It is a good thing. I am interested who's going to step up and be the leader on this team now.
I assume Al and the Jays, and I think it's just a matter of the Jays stepping up even more, which I guess comes with age.
Because it's not Porzingis. He doesn't seem to be a, hey, get on my back guy. He's, look at me, I'm tall.
I do question. We talked about this briefly in the reaction video. Who starts? Because if Brogdon came in and you felt like he could kind of be the backup because him, Smart and White were on the same level. Kristaps is very clearly now the best big man they have on the roster. I love Rob and I love Al, but he has to start. It's just who starts next to him. I know you, I think, are team Al. I'm personally team Rob, but I do think it depends on Rob's health and how ready he is. If he's ready, it's like 2 seasons ago, Robert Williams was playing 30 minutes a night and played a career high games. If he feels ready to get back to that level, say he has a monster offseason, which would be very nice, would love that very much. I would prefer him in the starting lineup because I think it improves the defense a little bit more. And to be honest, it probably gives you a little bit more offensive versatility, as weird as that sounds, because then you have a lob threat on the court and another pick and roll guy. Who's probably a little bit more, or definitely more athletic than Horford. But you're team Horford, right?
I'm team Horford. I feel like the Rob thing is a bit redundant. However, so is Horford because they're both big guys who can shoot threes. Porzingis does a little bit of both. The reason I lean Horford, which I said in the reaction, is think Rob fits better as a bench piece. Don't think you're getting the most out of Al if you put him off the bench. He's not coming in and giving you a spark. Rob's a little different. He also has experience coming off the bench. You've never even seen Horford try and do that in his career. I don't think so. Maybe in Philly for a bit, and we all know how Philly turned out for him. So not the best idea to use him that way, unless he really is begging for it and is open to it, which I don't really think he wanted to come off the bench last year when that was thrown around. It's another thing to keep your eyes on. In terms of the starters, it's obviously White, Tatum, Brown. Porzingis has to be the 4th, and I think it's Rob is the 5th. I mean, Al is the 5th. And maybe there is evidence that points to Rob being better as a starter. It probably does say that statistically, if I could speak English. Just because when he started starting, he was playing at the highest level he's ever played. That's why he was starting. And there were seasons where he was not ready yet and he was getting spot minutes off the bench. But I would be curious in the last couple seasons what it says. And what the team's plus minus is. And last year was just such a weird year because he really wasn't healthy for half the season. He came back and he wasn't the same, which is why you were partly saying trade him for Porzingis. So I don't know. It's good that they still have Rob and Al. It gives you
this. Would you have rather traded Malcolm and Rob or Marcus Smart for Porzingis?
Oh, this is where people are going to get mad at me because I'm going to say I keep Marcus.
I know. But that's why I asked you.
This is a very biased answer where I say Marcus.
I
just think he deserves it. There's no other reason why. He deserves to be here, and he's not. And I would have given up a little bit more.
For what it's worth, I also feel like it would have been easier. As crazy as it sounds, I feel like it might have been easier to replace Rob than it will be to replace Marcus, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You can find another big man out there. You probably can't find another Marcus like that.
It's more of you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul if you just give up Marcus. If you give up Rob, you're bringing Porzingis, you still have the same problem where you don't have that third guy in the rotation to give you real minutes, especially if Grant leaves, which all signs point to yes towards that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't make a ton of sense. It sucks, and I still think it's wrong, but it's better than, for the team, roster-wise, it's better than giving up Rob to keep him.
I agree. And somebody on that
and yes,
trade I posted
my answer in 10 seconds.
Oh, you put your answer to trade Marcus, keep Rob?
Yeah, I mean, roster-wise, I will never admit that. I don't know how long it's going to take me to forgive the team. They're going to have to win a title. I think it was.
I know what you mean.
Incorrect, but yes, makes sense.
Somebody on the trade I put on Twitter that got ratioed and everybody hated it.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Go die."
Well, someone tweeted, yeah, it's because you gave up Rob. This is terrible. And then after the Marcus trade, they said, just kidding. Go back. Please do this.
Please go back. Yeah. Go back. For what it's worth. No.
As far as the Rob stats, it's a little weird because he started that entire season. He was so good. But in his starts that game, let me filter for starting. In his starts, I looked at the 2021-22 season because that's when he was the healthiest and starting all the games that he possibly could. In his starts that season, Robert Williams averaged 10 points, 9.6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2.2 blocks. Off the bench this past season, because that's just the bench, it was 7 points, 7.2 rebounds, 1.5 blocks. Granted, that is 30 minutes versus 18 minutes. So it's pretty similar impact if he's getting the right minutes in the right spot, I would say. So I guess it doesn't matter as much. So maybe it is Horford that's easier. I just think as Horford gets older, you might need to lessen his load. And the easiest way to do that could just be benching him. But obviously he would have to be on board with that, I think. Similar to the Chris Paul thing in Golden State, even though he probably won't have that much of a choice.
Yeah, the Rob off the bench thing is just more of now going to be he's going to relieve Horford.
I will say 2 years ago, the Pritchard to Rob lobs were electric. they were fun. You remember
times.
Tell me you remember though. All right, that's enough. We talked about Porzingis and potential starters. It's time to talk about Malcolm Brogdon. Get ready to learn
talk
trades,
about Brogdon.
Malcolm Brogdon was thrown in the trade originally for Porzingis, but then he was back because the Clippers said psych. Brad said the Celtics are very confident, quote, that Brogdon will be on the court and will be good health-wise via J. King. Jared Weiss tweeted out, Sergio will be an option as they monitor his elbow heals. Brad's talking like he's going to be back. Stop. Come on.
You're now on the train where he can't come back.
This is like not even necessarily on the train, but like it just makes sense to trade him at this point with what happened. This is like Mike Dunleavy saying 4 more years of Jordan Poole 2 days ago. You know, it's the same thing. You tell me I'm wrong. Tell me it's not the same
That's
thing.
One of the great quotes. And we both were aware that he had said that before this trade happened. I think. And we were both like, why would he say that?
It's posturing. It's like, and we're talking about this later. I feel like it's like the Blazers GM saying we're definitely keeping Dame. That raises the price. If you say we're ready to keep Brogdon, if anybody who wants him is gonna be like, all right, maybe we can't just get him for cheap.
Well, what are you looking to get back for Brogdon in this situation, Jack?
Well,
because
Sam,
it feels like 1 second. It feels like this is more of a situation where you have to keep it, or not have to. You would like to keep him because now you don't have the luxury of having 3 guards all at the same level. You only have 2.
Okay.
Who's it going to be?
I have 10 trades here for you. 10.
You said 10?
I have 10. We don't have to like dive into each of them
in this room, do we?
We don't have to dive deep into them. And I'm going to start it off by
getting a no.
Yeah, he needs a place to put his head. I'm going to start this off by reading some of these names before we get into the trades. Javon Carter, Dennis Smith Jr., Corey Joseph, Ish Smith. There are solid third-string guards because realistically, that's all the Celtics need, right? The Celtics had a luxury of 3 starting caliber point guards next year. They don't need 3 starting caliber point guards.
But now they don't. Now they have 1.5.
Exactly. They have Derek White, starting caliber, Peyton Pritchard, backup caliber, and then they can sign a third string. That's fine, especially considering they run offense through the Jays as much as they do. It's fine.
This is a bad take.
For me?
Yes.
I'm saying they're fine with Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and signing a third string guard. You disagree?
Yes, that's bad.
Why?
Because you have Brogdon, and you have to capitalize on having him. Whether that means you get something of value in return.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you get rid of Brogdon completely. And also, you could also trade Brogdon and then get a point guard back in a Grant Williams sign and trade. Get ready to learn Markelle Fultz, buddy.
Well, if you do that, then it's a little different.
I know.
Right?
I'm saying.
I think
even if you don't like the free
moving
agents,
on from Brogdon at this point is premature because just from a not that they tried to trade him and he's probably not going to play here anymore situation, but from a he's on your roster, he's talented, he was injured in the playoffs at the end.
Of course,
you have to take into account that he was really great in the 6-man role, and if he has a chance to do it again, he may do the right thing, and he may be better this year. There were things he could have did better, Jack. I know you love the tunnel vision aspect, which is true, and it's valid.
Well, if Rob's going to be coming off the bench, he's got to be better at that.
It's true. And I just think keeping him around makes sense at this point, unless you're getting somebody that you really believe in.
I'm not against keeping him around. I'm simply pointing out that there are avenues to add other point guard help if you trade Brogdon. You could get that back in the Brogdon trade. You could get that back in a Grant trade, or you can sign a decent backup on the free agency market and run Derek White.
Let's go through some of this and I'll tell you.
All right. The first one is the Nets. It is Royce O'Neal and Patty Mills. And whatever. I don't have picks in these just because stop.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I like the Royce O'Neal addition. We've talked about him a bit before we've thrown it around. He's a great player to give you some impactful play off the bench on a winning team.
We'll bold the ones you like. So we're in on that. We don't mind it.
Well, that one is if they are able to bring in somebody to replace him via Grant. Because essentially in this fantasy world, Royce O'Neal replaces Grant. You would say, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you need to use Grant to replace Brogdon. So if you're getting Markelle Fultz back, eyeballs. Yeah.
Which I doubt you would. Maybe they don't want to pay him. I think
they just drafted a couple guards.
I was going to say, it's more realistic now. More realistic now that they drafted Anthony back. Okay. Timberwolves, Kyle Anderson, and Taurean Prince.
Kyle Anderson, Taurean Prince. You're getting like two. I know Anderson's like a serviceable player. Make no mistake.
Solid playmaker too.
I don't love it.
Okay. I'll italicize the one Sam is less in on.
There's just like a
no. I know
what kind of role. Let me pull up Basketball Reference.
Especially when you have who Kyle Anderson or Taurean Prince. Kyle Anderson shoots. Jeopardy music inserted. 41% from three last year.
Yeah, 34% for his career. Now I'm not bashing that. So
that's okay.
He went 28. This is 2020. He shoots 28%, then 36, then 33, then 41.
Most of them on low volume.
And they are on low volume. You're right.
Last year, though,
36% was almost 4 a game.
It was. Last year, though, I'll point out 5 assists a game for Kyle Anderson. That's some good playmaking at the wing spot.
It's not terrible. It's just like I don't know.
I get you being mad. That's fine. I'll italicize it. Raptors is Otto Porter and Chris Boucher or Thaddeus Young. So you get a wing and then a big. The big is a bit redundant, but
I don't think Thad Young is giving you impactful minutes anymore. I'll start there. Boucher, you already hit on the head. It's redundant. You don't need it anymore. You have
some of these.
You have value. You have Rob.
Some of these are cap move question marks. Not fully cap moves, but like they'd cheapen your roster a little bit. And also another avenue, because they traded back, they will have probably have a $5 million MLE, so they can add help that way too. I know it's not crazy, but that could get you somebody. I don't know, but I think there are things for you to go for. Westbrook's on the market. I really like Javon Carter. I know that's not a name you're impressed by, but he had a phenomenal season last year.
I mean, what are we talking about? You're going to sell on Brogdon for Otto Porter, who people
I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating for the Raptors trade specifically, but I'm saying if you do get Royce O'Neal back and add Javon Carter,
the O'Neal one is fine. Make no mistake.
Yeah, I'm. This isn't for the Raptors trade.
But if you're doing any of these trades, unless you're getting a point guard back, you have to ensure that you're going to be able to replace him in a meaningful way.
I really like Javon Carter, and I get that you're not as high on him, but sure.
For me, the impactful way of replacing Brogdon is somebody that can get to the rim. Because even though Brogdon is not great at the rim, he is able to get there. Who? Josh Richardson? I would entertain that. Yeah, I like Josh Richardson. That's my guy. Always was. Number 8's open again. You can wear the same number.
If they trade Brogdon, Jack happy. They sign Dennis Schroeder. Jack jumps off a cliff.
It's literally when we got the Porzingis notification on Wednesday, and it was like, yes. And then I saw what they, and then I tweeted, I was like, what did they do to get Memphis involved in this? Take Ja's gun back in the trade? And then they dropped the smart news, and I was no longer laughing.
No, they clap back at you. Okay, so Otto Porter, Chris Boucher, and no, italicized. Should we rank them? So I assume O'Neal number 1, Anderson next, Porter next.
Yeah, okay, that's good. And Porter, by the way, is somebody I was in on, but for like a Pritchard trade. I think you're not getting enough back for Brogdon.
That's fine. John Collins, straight up.
Straight up, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that replaces Grant a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's as great of a fit as Grant. Oddly enough, I think he's better overall than Grant.
I agree with you. He's not as good of a fit.
But there was that playoff series against Boston this year where we were all like, who's John Collins even guarding? Like, he was just a cone out there for a lot of the series. He woke up in games 4 through 6. Yep. He was horrible. We were like, okay, actually, we get why this team wants to trade him every time they have a chance.
Yeah. The Hawks, apparently, the report is ownership says get under the luxury tax. Stop. So they're pressed right now.
I can't really blame ownership there because they are spending and they're just losing.
Yeah.
They're just mid.
So
I would put Collins second behind Royce O'Neal.
What if I changed it for DeAndre Hunter?
Well, that's another interesting piece, isn't it? Because he gives you probably a better fit than John Collins does.
Yeah, but I don't think they do that.
I think that one might go first for me.
I don't think they would do that as much though, because he makes less money than Brogdon, so that wouldn't help them immediately.
And this is still they need to get another point guard that is serviceable and can create for others. Even though Brogdon doesn't do that, he has the ability, right? Like, I know he has tunnel vision, but he does have the ability to get.
I know. Yes, he does. He does.
I don't want a catch and shoot guy that's just 6'3".
And just for my theory, out on Russ.
You're out on Russ. Okay.
No. Are you out on Russ?
Am I out on Russ? Yeah, kind of, because he can't shoot. I know I just said I don't want a 6'3" guy that is just catching and shooting, but that's the truth. I don't want somebody that's only doing that. But I think Westbrook doesn't fit on this team. He didn't fit with the Lakers, and he was really good on the Clippers because he was allowed to have the ball and dominate.
I was half messing with you because I thought you'd have a more visceral reaction, but you were very calm. So,
well, I think it's it's a question you have to ask at this point. It's similar to the Chris Paul thing where you're like, can you get this guy in a budget deal and have that flexible move where
if you get Russ for the minimum area? If you got him for the minimum,
maybe. I don't know. I don't really believe in him as a teammate either. So
that's fine. That's fine. These next two are trades you're going to say no to because of the teams they're with, but I'm going to say them anyways. Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt
for Brogdon.
Yep.
Beasley's a fit. Shoots threes. Vanderbilt plays defense.
Vanderbilt
it's
seems
like you combine
Jordan Walsh.
both of them and you get the player that I would like.
Yeah.
I say probably not because I don't think you really feel a need.
Where does it fall? Above Otto Porter, below Kyle Anderson, or above Kyle Anderson?
Yeah, I'm not helping the Lakers. That factors too. Yeah, after
Anderson. Okay. Another team Sam doesn't like, 76ers. I put question marks here because I don't know exactly what it would be, but if they lose Harden, a combination of PJ Tucker, DeAnthony Melton, Korkmaz, something. Really?
I think Melton's a quality player. I will say that.
Really?
PJ Tucker? Really? I mean, PJ Tucker's just out there running and trying to hurt people. That's it. I don't want him getting $11 million a year. That's almost as much as Rob. No. Korkmaz, another guy, they signed him prematurely.
That was just for salary. That's just for salary.
But they want to get rid of him. I think Melton's a quality player. He plays defense. He can shoot threes, but I don't think he's really creating as much as I would like.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind it. Bring in PJ Tucker as the very low value Grant replacement in terms of he's not going to play a ton, but he'll fire people up. Melton can replace a spot in the point guard rotation pretty well. It helps your books moving forward a little bit. And then you figure out things with the Grant sign trade. I don't hate it. Is that? I didn't think that'd be that low on your list. Where does that fall?
Well, also you don't want to help Philly. It's true.
So is that below Otto Porter or above Otto Porter?
It's above it. I think that
above
Otto Porter trade sucks.
Malik Beasley, Vanderbilt, above or below?
Below.
Okay. I thought you'd like that.
I just think Melton's the only good player you really get back in that deal that's worth paying.
I don't hate Tucker. I think he has a role. It's not a great role, but he has some.
He's not getting any younger. He's 38.
It's true. This is true. The Pelicans. Don't know the exact things. No, don't know the exact things, but it would have to be some combination of Larry Nance, Jose Alvarado, Garrett Temple, and then another minimum guy just to fill something.
Just nobody you need.
Jose Alvarado?
What is his? Is he creating though? He's just a scrappy guy. I don't know. Admittedly, do not know enough about Alvarado. Jose Alvarado average. He's a gritty guy. He's similar to Smart. He's undersized.
9 points, 2.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 41%, 34%. Not great splits, but another guard in the rotation.
The 3-point shooting isn't good enough. He's 6 feet tall. He's undersized. his big draw is defense, but he's not going to be able to switch on to these guys. He's going to get targeted in a playoff series now.
I admittedly thought that the 3-point shooting was a little better when I wrote it down.
It's okay.
So above Otto Porter, below PJ Tucker, Melton, or above PJ Tucker, Melton.
He's behind Philly.
Okay. I have a sneaking suspicion this is shooting to the top of the list. The Celtics just added 1 million second-round picks. If you attach a second to Brogdon for like Kelly Olynyk and Chris Dunn.
I mean, Chris Dunn's not an NBA player.
He had a phenomenal end of the season for the Jazz.
Did he?
Yes, he had a really good end of the season for Utah. It earned him a contract. Chris Dunn in his games for Utah, in 22 games for Utah, playing 26 minutes, 13 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 54% from the field, 47% from deep. And Kelly. Did I sell you on the local guy again?
Yeah, a little bit. You did, because those are the kind of numbers I like. I like the 13 and 5. I just think that's like euphoria of a system point guard.
Not a bad player. Hey,
and it's so weird that he was so great in this such a short stretch of time. He was out of the league.
They brought him back.
Kelly Olynyk. I mean, you don't need Kelly Olynyk anymore, though.
You don't.
He's not as high of a sell, though. You know what I'm saying?
You don't need him, but he can play the 4. He could probably replace Grant a little bit better than like you realize. Like he's not as good.
Mike Muscala.
No,
come
on.
They get him back. It just in terms of role, I don't think
they would have double bigs. They would have Porzingis and Al, Rob and Kelly, and they could intermingle them. And also, with all the injury or concerns with Rob and Porzingis and Horford's age, like having another big wouldn't be the end of the world.
These Chris Dunn numbers are nuts.
I told you I was ready to sell you. Where does that go on the list, Sam? Is that shooting up? Especially if you can sweeten the pot with seconds for Utah, who probably wants seconds. Both of those expiring. Hey. Hey.
I think this is a trade you do after the season starts because I need to see what Chris Dunn does again.
Sure. But where does it go? Below O'Neal, below Collins, or in that mix?
Below Collins.
Okay. Above Kyle Anderson?
Yeah. The Collins contract's tough, too.
Would you do I bolded the ones you said you would do. I have bolded O'Neal and Collins. You would do those.
Yeah, I would probably do them.
Should I bold Kelly and Chris Dunn?
Those are only being bolded, by the way, if you know you're getting somebody else back. Because in those situations, you are boosting up the wing depth, but you are gutting the guard depth. You went from the deepest guard rotation. You don't have any.
What if are you Jordan Clarkson guy? You out on Jordan Clarkson?
He doesn't fit. He doesn't play defense.
Okay. I was gonna say, would you do like Brogdon, Pritchard in seconds for Kelly, Chris Dunn, and Clarkson?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I wasn't sure if you were a Clarkson guy. That's why I'm asking. So, do I bold the Kelly trade, or are you like meh?
I need to see Chris Dunn.
Okay.
Continue to prove that he can play in the league.
That's fine. Doug McDermott and Devontae Graham.
Devontae Graham's like falling off a cliff.
He's not.
Doug McDermott's okay. He can shoot, but like I'd rather. I mean, you already have Hauser. You're getting the same stuff. No.
Keep in mind, I wrote a lot of these trades in the sense that like Brogdon's value is probably kind of down. You could also split it up into multiple contracts, so the cap's not as bad. So noted Doug McDermott. Where am I putting it? Below Philly or above Philly? That's usually the line.
Above Philly.
Above the Lakers, Beasley and Vanderbilt.
No.
Okay. The last one, I don't think you're gonna like at all. It would just be straight up like one of those Rockets guys. You get back one of those wings, but you would have to replace it, like a Tate or
wings.
Jayshawn Tate or Kenyon Martin. You'd clear this space. It's not worth. Anything I missed around the league that you think like those are teams that I looked at and said, okay, maybe they could use Brogdon. But like thinking around the league, is there anybody else you think, okay, maybe they would do something here? Like, would the Knicks rather have
Chicago go after him? Do you get Caruso back?
I had that on my
Caruso
list
for him straight up.
I had that on the list. A, that doesn't work financially.
Financially,
the Bulls,
it doesn't work.
No, and B, the Bulls are like obscenely high on Alex Caruso. Like they want a lot of value for him. Would the Knicks like? How badly do they want a better point guard and not to pay quickly? Like, would they give you like a contract, Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin for Brogdon in seconds?
See, that I don't really hate.
You know what
Even
I'm saying?
though I don't think Quickly's going to do much distribution-wise.
Maybe not.
But
he had a couple triple doubles, but
I think Toppin is just a guy to keep an eye on for whatever reason.
Toppin's cool. Would you do Toppin, Brogdon, and Fournier's contract for Brogdon?
Fournier, no.
Rose's contract instead. How about Derek instead?
Yeah,
just for the contract,
just so you can buy the Rose jersey.
Past that, I mean, if the Magic really want another guard, Brogdon for Fultz, would you do that?
Yeah, really? I would do that. It's Pope Catholic.
I don't know. You're very high on Markelle Fultz. That's kind of nuts.
I'm in on Fultz. I don't think that.
Yeah.
I don't think that Orlando's doing that, though. They have a zillion guards. I don't think they're getting rid of Fultz to bring in a different guard.
No. Although maybe they want the extra year of financial flexibility moving forward. Like
maybe.
You can spend another year. I don't know. That Quickly deal. I just thought of that off the dome. Like that's kind of intriguing. I like Emmanuel Quickly. I think they'd value him too highly. I don't either, but it's intriguing at the very least. I thought of the Thunder. They don't really have much that you would want back. I low key like the Jazz trade. Yeah, okay, buddy. I like the Jazz trade. I think it'd be fine. It's just I know what you mean though. Like you don't really need Olynyk. Like if this was pre-Porzingis trade, that's a deal I would really like.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is shifted after the Porzingis deal because it's like, well, now we really don't know what the Celtics need. In my opinion, the Celtics still need a backup wing.
Would you trade him? Would you trade him back to Indiana for TJ McConnell and Buddy Hield?
No.
Okay. Really?
McConnell's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Who would you rather play, McConnell or Pritchard?
Probably Pritchard. But I mean, you're sitting here saying they need guard depth too. Like you're not getting another guard better than Brogdon for Brogdon.
Well, they have Brogdon. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to get rid of him.
I know.
I mean,
but
you kind of do have to get rid of him. But
yeah,
on paper, you don't have to get rid of him. Right?
You know what's unfortunate?
If you can smooth things over and he stays and he has his forearm surgery and he's okay, keep him. Yeah, I mean,
you know what's really unfortunate? I'd love a Clippers deal for Brogdon.
Clippers can rot. If I'm Brad, I'm never doing anything with them.
Agree. They're rats. They're absolutely rats. That's really all I can see. You bringing Terry Rozier back for Brogdon.
That's not the worst thing ever.
Is that an eyes emoji?
Well, I've seen people throw it around. I think Rozier is kind of a worse fit now.
I agree. He's
not going to want to come off the bench.
Brogdon would probably fit next to LaMelo better than Rozier does.
How does Rozier fit on a winning team now? Not saying he can't. I'm just curious if his play style, his efficiency, the way he plays basketball is different if he's on a.
That's fair. I mean, he wasn't efficient last year. He shot 42% from the field, 33%.
But the Hornets were also like, here's all the shots. LaMelo's injured.
Exactly, and his first X amount of years in Charlotte, he shot 41%, 39%, 37%. So he is a good 3-point shooter. It's just last season.
Oh, those are from three.
Those are from three. Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were field goal percentage.
No. His field goal 42, 45, 44. I don't know.
Rozier's a guy I think you might keep your eye on if you really hate the Brogdon thing and you need to get rid of him. I don't know if Charlotte has any interest in that. They might want to compete. They have LaMelo. They have Miller now. Hayward if he's healthy, can give them something maybe.
The big issue is,
do you take Hayward back off the bench for a year?
For Brogdon?
I might, if you know you're getting a guard somewhere else.
Yeah. That's the kicker. The big thing for me is,
does he
for
stay
Rozier
healthy better if he's playing less minutes off the bench?
Maybe. Rozier wouldn't want to come off the bench though. That was the whole problem before.
Yeah, and I think you really can't find a way around starting White. I think it's the right thing to do. I think he's earned it, and I don't know if you can relegate him to the bench, especially after he really hasn't played well off the bench.
All right, hear me out, Sam. Hear me out here. Brogdon for DeJounte Murray. Thoughts?
Yeah, do that. Pope Catholic? Does Atlanta do that? No. They say, Brad, never talk to me again.
Well, they want to get under the thing.
Doesn't Brogdon make more money than him?
He does. Could you cobble together some sort of package though, like Brogdon and another contract to get them under?
You already got rid of the Gallinari deal. How many contracts do you have? Do you send Horford back to Atlanta? No, I think that ruins some of the work you got done with Porzingis.
This is true. Rob, no.
You're starting to rob Peter to pay Paul to get these stars in.
Would you do? I'm just picking apart Atlanta now. Brogdon for Bogdanovich.
Again, money.
Eyes emoji. What do you mean the money?
I think Bogdanovich makes
yes,
less money.
You're right. I'm thinking backwards here. Yeah, Collins and now, would you take Trae Young? Ratless Trae Young on the Celtics. I mean, as much as we hate Trae Young,
it's hard to be like, no, I wouldn't, but also like, I don't know if I would because it really hurts the defensive identity of this team where he's going to get picked apart in a playoff series.
A starting lineup of Trae Young, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Porzingis sounds just gross. Like that sounds so good though.
I will say
I
this though,
but
as much as you are like out on Brogdon, right? You bring in Trae Young. He does love throwing the lob.
Rob would feast. Porzingis would feast.
Yep. Even Al maybe would bring in Tice. He was always good on the lob.
Low key, we didn't cover this one. Brogdon for Conley. Hey.
Yeah. Easy.
Hey. Bring it in. bring me the money, baby.
Fire. He's a winner. Every team he's been on these, like, okay. Let's talk about Conley for a minute. Conley goes to Utah or is in Utah, right? They got the team. They keep Conley. The team's competitive. He gets injured. Team is not competitive. He comes back competitive. They trade him. Goes to Minnesota. Minnesota sneaks into the playoffs, takes a game off Denver, who wins the title, sweeps the Lakers. Conley's a quality player. He's not getting any younger. But I don't know.
1 year left on his deal.
I would love that.
Would help the cap. Yeah, I'd do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. So is Conley number one in your power rankings?
Yeah. Conley just comes in, stomps the rest of the boys.
I wonder if
I don't think Minnesota wants to get rid of him.
I don't think so either, but they kind of they low-key do need shooters on that team. Like they need 3-point shooting.
I think they need a Conley to compete. He's a leader. He clearly is a leader.
Yeah. I mean, you trade Conley for Brogdon, and then you trade Towns for whatever point guard you want. Hey. Hey. Why not? I don't know. Conley would be fire. You said it on me. Conley would be fire. I don't know what else is out there. That sounds like it's about it for Brogdon trades. I like Conley. I think he's cool. I like the Quickly one, kinda. I think the Jazz trade is fine. They really got to hit this though. They can't mess this up. Like Brad's got a tough job now that he made this move with Marcus. Like you can't fuck the rest of it up. You got to nail it.
Wow, we have a lot to talk about still.
We do. We don't. None of this will be as long. That was the longest portion of our.
No, it's fine. Good
today.
show.
Yes. All right.
People are getting content on a Sunday. It's a big day for us.
Exactly. All right. Next thing we have is Celtics Summer League schedule has been released. Per Gary Washburn, he tweeted out. Jack was I was in the Ringer trying to find this on Twitter. It's pissing me off.
The Ringer. Oh no, never mind. Yes,
sorry.
yes,
Twitter.
yes.
Twitter. We didn't even talk about Jordan Walsh, who the Celtics selected, but we can talk about.
Did a video.
We did. Check out the video if you want our thoughts on Jordan Walsh. They got a lot of seconds for him. I'll just read Brad's quote real quick. He has a special ability laterally and with his wingspan to swallow people up defensively. He really creates havoc with his arms and with his energy and ability to move his feet. They seem very high on him. Also, Brad said, sorry, I'm just rushing over this before we get to the next part. Brad said we had a list of guys we were comfortable with, and the guy we got was on that list. Another thing that came out was they wanted Olivier Maxence Prosper. So when they didn't get him, they just traded back until they could get.
Well, the Kings can rot.
Exactly. They traded back. Actually, no, the Mavericks. The Mavericks got Prosper. Mavericks got Prosper, not Kings.
Yes.
And Chris Murray was Portland.
Yeah. So Portland can rot, and then they made Sacramento trade the pick, and then Boston traded their pick. So I lost like 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, yes. Anyways. Oh, you're right, because the Kings... Yes. Okay, but Jordan Walsh, they seem to like him. Go watch our video on it. We talked about Jordan Walsh a little bit more in depth there. But the Celtics Summer League schedule has been released as I get to it. Full minute after I mentioned it. Per Gary Washburn, July 8th versus the Heat at 3 p.m. Eastern. July 9th against the Wizards at 7:30 Eastern. July 12th against the Lakers at 10 Eastern. And July
10
14th
Eastern?
the Knicks. Yeah, at 7 Eastern.
10 p.m.?
10 p.m. Eastern, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought 10 a.m.
No. And Maybe no, it's got to be 10 p.m.
Post-game pods coming back for the Summer League.
Hey,
No.
why not? Why not?
Maybe.
We'll do some post-game pods. But yeah, we'll get to chance to look at Mychal in a Heat jersey, Anthony Black and no, not Anthony Black. Who's the Wizards pick?
Koulibaly.
Wizards pick Koulibaly. Yep, in a Wizards jersey. Max Lewis, I think, is who the Lakers picked. And then the Knicks picked. Who the hell did the Knicks pick? They have Obi Toppin's brother on a summer league deal or a 2-week deal. So,
former URI
which is funny. Which is funny because they might trade his brother. They picked up the younger one.
You know what? Summer League is never as fun as we think it's going to be.
No.
We're like, wow, all these guys kind of suck.
Yeah, remember when Tatum's cousin was on the team last year?
Yeah, I do remember that, actually. I forgot about that.
Yep. And we all thought Calvin Gale was going to be, like, sick. Like, he was just going to be amazing.
Well, he did get a roster spot, and he was actually pretty good with Maine. I remember writing about, like, he had a monster, like, showcase. Like, they had this little tournament, whatever they did, and he was really good, hit a game winner.
Mm-hmm. Matt Ryan hit a game winner in Summer League. RIP Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was sick. Matt Ryan was sick. That was right? Yes, he was. He might be a free agent again, though. Go get him, Brad.
Bring him back.
Why not?
Fix the vibes.
And speaking of Summer League, the Celtics have picked up Mychal Mulder for their Summer League roster. Not a bad player. It wouldn't.
I have nothing on this. Don't.
I'll read you some
your thoughts, and that's it. I have. Nothing.
It wouldn't mean anything if the Celtics didn't need guard depth now. I'm not saying he's going to come in and be like a good player, like an impactful every night player for the Celtics. He's not. I'm not saying that. But if they do want to get a look at potential guys, Keith Smith tweeted, Mulder has a full year of two-way eligibility left. He's a shooter and could be in the mix for more than just a Summer League spot with Boston. Could translate into a camp deal in a G League spot or maybe a two-way spot. Keep in mind, 3 two-way spots this year. Every team gets 3 this year.
It's new.
Does
that mean a regular roster spot gets clapped, or no? They just have 16?
They just added 30 new jobs. Everyone gets an extra 2.
Great job.
So the Celtics, Celtics will have extra player. Mychal Mulder for his career is a 37% three-point shooter. He last appeared with the Heat last season, not this past season.
Hold on.
Before. Are you pulling up Mychal Mulder stats, or are you complaining?
No. If he was not able to cut it in Heat culture and become the next coming of Christ,
I think he was
in a playoff series, I'm not really convinced. Listen, Miami,
I think he was a COVID contract
for these guys.
I think he was a COVID contract. Like he was a 10.
Okay. If Miami is like giving up on guys, that's it. If they can't fix them, nobody can.
I think he was a COVID contract. He only played 2 games, right? Like he wasn't like he was the equivalent of Joe Johnson in a Celtics jersey. That's what he was for Miami.
Bring him back.
You know what I'm saying? Bring Joe Johnson back. Who else was there? Was another random veteran that was on the Celtics team last year. I can't remember.
Al-Farouq Amino was on the Celtics.
Yes.
See,
who else?
Miles was on the Celtics.
That's who I'm thinking of. Yes.
Yeah.
Man. All right. With that, we can move on. Is it time for NBA finally?
Might be. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the NBA talk here. Change the banner.
Mychal Mulder walked by me on the street. I would not know what he looked like.
Should we pull it up, or are you not kidding?
No, I don't.
Okay. Sam will find out Summer League.
2 weeks.
But the NBA draft happened. That's what
terrible.
we're talking about. I'll
give
you
the
the floor
worst
for a
thing to happen to me this week.
I'll give you the floor. Complain about the draft for a second. It can be
the draft is a horrible product. The draft could be an email. to make it simple. It could be an email. This is who everybody picked. That's all you needed to know. There was a 30-minute start to this draft where they picked 3 guys. That's it.
True. Yes.
We were doing a live stream. It went 3 hours and 45 minutes. Still on the channel if you want to just sit there and waste your life away. And it was, by all accounts, miserable. I think we need to find a better way to do it where we can have the thing up there.
Yeah, something
maybe through some React thing, so we don't have to fill the air and the people can just watch it with us, and we could literally just react to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a terrible product. It's just the picks are in. Woj is sitting there looking like a rat on the desk. You have them talking to the families on this stupid couch setup they have. They have people coming out of the stands that weren't invited to the green room to come get the interviews. I mean, they make this thing as long as it could possibly be and waste everybody's time. It's horrible.
Sam, not a fan of the draft, but let's go.
Silver and Mark Tatum are just sitting backstage playing patty cake until they get the call to come out and announce the pick that's been in for 10 minutes. It's terrible.
We're not going to sit here and act like draft experts. If you want to listen to a draft expert, go listen to Tyler Rucker. He had thoughts before the draft, most of which will carry over. Some highlights, Cam Whitmore just dropping.
That was he almost got into the Celtics.
I know.
Instead, Houston walks away from this draft where they were like, hey, should we pick one of the Thompson twins or Cam Whitmore? And now they have both. They had number 4, and it was a big debate, and they got Cam Whitmore at 20. It's nuts.
Yeah. It's very crazy. And there was a whole thing. It's like, I forget where I saw this, and I don't remember the exact details. The Rockets had the chance to like swap picks or do something this year versus next year where they could have moved. They moved from 30 to 20 with the Bucks or something this year, so they got to choose. And by doing that, they got Cam Whitmore. Like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
You have to wonder what was wrong with him that came out. Like, they say injury concerns, but what actually happened? Like, did he lose his right hand in a lightsaber duel or something? like when Darth Vader gets chopped up in Star Wars 3, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was crazy. Other draft highlights: Victor Wembanyama is just a freak. Like, I know we knew this. He's like nuts. Like, he looks insane. Am I crazy? Am I the only one? He looks.
That's usually what happens when somebody's like 7'5". They don't look normal.
It's crazy though, and
he like on the French guy,
the really tall one.
Yeah.
Like what kind of takes?
Well, I know you were asking me about him today.
Yeah, I was asking how tall he was because he's huge.
He's huge. He's lanky.
Yeah, but a lot of hype around him. He's very, very young. That's all I got
for
you.
Okay, I put you on the spot. Kayla, my girlfriend, was watching the draft last night. She was out somewhere, and she was like, "How tall is this guy?" I was like 7'5".
He's like 20 and a half.
Yeah, big shoes.
He's crazy. Giant hands, baseball hand.
Did you see the picture of him with the baseball?
No.
You'll see it later.
Wemby's crazy. He also like he just speaks and acts like a celebrity. Like he's just gonna be like so.
Wendy talked about this. Brian Windhorst. He went on the Bill Simmons podcast. He was talking about how since Wemby's been 12, he's been learning to speak English, not like phonetically speak English, like how people from this country speak English, so he can say things that make sense to us and not sound awkward and foreign. Like he been preparing for this.
He sounded like an American.
Years of his life.
It's crazy. He sounded like an American last night. It's weird. I wrote down any steals you like, but I just wanted to use this platform to say I'm mad that the Heat got Jaime Jaquez. I'm mad that the Nuggets got Julian Strawther, and I'm mad that the Warriors got Trace Jackson Davis to be their backup big. It's just annoying. They just got like all three of those teams are very, very good, and they got very, very good picks. I saw something on TikTok today saying, "I'm sorry, but the Heat, this is a bust pick. Jaquez stinks," and I'm like, this dude doesn't know ball. This guy doesn't know ball.
Did not watch a 5-minute highlight like we did.
I'm basing it on Tyler Rucker's insight too. This is not Jack being an idiot. No, but that pissed me off when they got Jaquez. That sucked.
It did suck. But shout out to the Ringer. I think Kevin O'Connor nailed that pick. I think they had him at 18 because when we were doing our react video, we reacted to the possibility of the Celtics taking him at 35 before they ruined all of our weeks by trading that pick with Marcus Smart. And then
he dominated workouts. Hawkins just killed everybody in workouts, apparently.
He was at 35 in the mock draft literally like a week ago. And now he got picked at 18. They mocked him at 18. So crazy work from the Ringer.
Good for him. Also, Drew Timmy to the Bucks. Did you see that?
That rat Drew Timmy.
Sonogo to the Bulls, another name we looked at. And then Andre Jackson also to the Bucks.
It's going to be weird seeing Drew Timmy just not at Gonzaga.
It's gonna be weird seeing
like he actually was just born with that stupid mustache in a Gonzaga jersey.
It's gonna be weird seeing Drew Timmy in a Wisconsin Herd jersey. I have lack of trades whack. We got
it was terrible because we banked on the trades helping us. We were like, okay, this pool trade came out early in the day. We'll do a react to that, and then we'll react to whatever happens in the draft, and we'll be set for the weekend. Instead, we had to record something earlier. You saw it yesterday. We recorded the Smart thing before this podcast. And we were like, okay, yeah, we're going to have like a bunch of draft trades. Like Lillard's going to get traded or the Blazers are going to trade this pick. And
Nope.
Dallas made some trades and they actually made money moves in the draft. Dallas might have won this draft.
Dallas
as a
traded
team
what?
that didn't have a top pick.
They traded.
Pick.
Yeah, they had 10. They traded pick 10 and Davis Bertans for Derek Lively, Olivia.
Who they were going to pick anyway, probably.
Yep, Olivia Mens-Prosper and Rashawn Holmes for those two things.
They screwed the Celtics and us.
That's pretty good. They did screw the Celtics. Also, I saw on Twitter somebody put up, or Jake Issenberg put up a Dorian Finney-Smith and Patty Mills for Brogdon thing, and I was like, I thought it was the same thing we did. I don't know. Kevin Durant went in a sorry, this is out of door. Kevin Durant went into Twitter Spaces tonight called Kevin Durant is not top 5. He just started talking in the space.
Kevin Durant's fire. As much as people want to give him like a hard time about the burner accounts and everything, he is the best. Like he will talk to anybody on Twitter. He'll roast people. He'll come at them. He'll argue.
Did you see the thing he said? He got in like a conversation on Twitter and they go, why don't you like respond to the nice fans? He goes, hate fuels me. Love is for the weak or something.
Yeah. Kevin Durant is all of us.
Kevin Durant. I love Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. I know
I
you
do
said
too.
It like,
people
he's
always
awesome.
hate on him, man. I like KD. I've always been a KD guy.
He's awesome. All right. That concludes our very intelligent NBA draft coverage.
We know ball.
we do.
I love that. That guy doesn't know ball like we do. Yeah, we watched 5 minutes of a highlight tape.
I know. Hey, we're smart, man. We're smart. All right. Next thing I have written on the draft on our show sheet. What the fuck is Portland doing? And I stand by it. What are we doing?
Patty cake in the front office.
What are we doing? So we're going to take Scoot Henderson after Dame makes it very clear he doesn't want a team of young players. And Dame has said he likes Scoot. Like it's not like he dislikes the guy, but he wants a team of vets. They said, psych, we're not doing that. Joe Cronin comes out. The GM comes out and says they don't want to trade Dame, and maybe they're posturing so they can trade Dame. But and then Dame is listening to a song about Miami on his story. What are we doing?
I will say, Portland had to take this pick because they probably didn't have any trade offers they liked. I'll say Scoot was the guy everybody was hyped about in this slot.
Yeah.
Why people wanted to pick up. So they still have him, and they can still make a deal if they happen to get the one they like, which is good for them. They're still in just as good a position as they were before this pick happened. The worst thing that could have happened to Portland is if Shams is, by the way, we can talk about this. Shams' tweets early in the day where Charlotte might take Scoot, watch out.
Yeah, what a rat. Did you see the theory about that?
Yeah, that he was trying to move betting lines. I was going to put that in the rat list, actually.
Yes, that's
He's
rat
a scumbag for that.
That is
makes
terrible.
Sense. But back to Portland. If they took Scoot at 2, Charlotte, that's the worst thing that happens because you lose your value for 3. The people wanted to trade it for 3. New Orleans wanted to trade it for 3 because they wanted Scoot. So you still have Scoot. You still have that asset. Now you can just pick between Lillard and Scoot. Who do you want to keep?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. No, I agree with you.
I don't really know if they have to rush. The Lillard thing is weird. I get why he's just not in position to be a part of this team. If it's
they also agree. They also can still trade Anthony Simons. They still have a solid trade chip to work with. Simons and Nurkic is still a decent package. He's a nice young player. Does he have more or less value than Poole? Realistically, probably more. I would say.
They make about the same. Probably about the same. No. He has better value.
I agree.
He didn't just have a meltdown season.
This is true. And he also does make less. He makes 24, 25, 27.6. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's better. I will say the mean of each player is probably about the same, the average.
Exactly.
Not when Poole gets punched in the face.
Oh, are you talking about the product or the money? The product?
The product. The product itself, barring I thought that was rain.
Sam's struggling. No, but the difference is 24, 26, 27 and a half versus Poole, who is going to be 28, 30, 33, 35. That's a pretty big difference. And that's a year longer than Simon's contract. So yeah, I would argue that's definitely worse. Yeah, I don't know what Portland's doing though, man. They're weird. Very weird.
They're waiting.
They should trade Dame, right? They need to trade Dame. Am I crazy?
I would prefer they don't trade Dame. I don't want him to come to the Eastern Conference.
Also fair. Speaking of trading Dame, shocker, The Heat still want to trade Tyler Herro.
I've been on this since before the playoffs even ended.
Sam knows
that
ball.
guy is gone. He dresses like a jackass, and Riley's probably sick of him making the franchise look like a mockery on the sideline. Plus, they just made a finals run without him playing a single minute past game 1 of the first round. So I'm really not sure there's any place for him on this Miami team. He has found money, and he is a guy they can use to trade for a player that's really going to impact the game.
Quote from Jake Fisher. Like Herro, Poole signed a massive extension, 4-year extension ahead of the 22-23 season. According to Yahoo Sports, Jake Fisher, his impending move has only increased speculation from team personnel that the Miami Heat will explore avenues to deal Herro's lucrative extension before it even begins.
By the way, Pat Riley, similar to Dunleavy, was praising Herro, part of the future, great player. So
now
I ask you,
I ask you the same question. Jordan Poole contract is 28, 30, 33, 35. Tyler Herro contract is, as I try to pull it up here, 27, 29, 31, 33. A little bit less.
It's the same total.
125.7 versus 131.9. A little bit less. Who has more value?
I would say it's really tough to call this one. I'd say Herro just because
you've seen he can play in the playoffs.
Have a meltdown of a season.
Exactly. And you've seen he can be good in the playoffs. He has been good in the playoffs.
This is the sell low moment on Jordan Poole. As much as I think he's a clown and I love to crap on him, like he's okay. Like he just got punched in the face by his teammate and everybody was talking about it. He really couldn't concentrate on basketball. There's a chance he has a really great season with Washington. We're all like, wow, they fleeced the hell out of the Warriors.
Well, I was playing golf today and I was talking to the kids we were playing with, the guys, and they go like, yeah, he's going to put up 30, but he's going to shoot 35% from the field.
He might. Yeah.
Empty stats.
It's Jordan Poole time.
Hey, it is. Tyus Jones was the starting point guard for one day. He had a chance. That's all he wanted. Maybe go say hi to Tyus Jones. They're probably there now. They're probably going to say hi.
It would be funny if Jordan Poole just was on the street.
Yeah, go rock up. Say what's
up.
You
know, you're on like the top of my punch in the face power rankings.
He'd clock you in the face.
Yeah,
you could probably take him. You think you could take Jordan Poole in a fight? You think you could take Jordan Poole in a fight? No. Is he your height? How tall is Jordan Poole?
6'4".
6'4". 6'4" and 194. Yeah. Hey, maybe get a chance. I saw something today. You know, Emoni Bates. This is random.
Emoni Bates.
Yeah, Emoni Bates, second round pick.
Is he like 160 pounds or something? Is that where you're gonna go? Like the weight?
6'9", 170.
That's like what I weigh.
That's unhealthy. That's terrible. Yeah. Anyways, okay. Last thing we have before the rat list. Lonzo Ball, not playing next season. We kind of knew this, but like, I mean, dude is down horrendous. Artur Karnisovas came out. He came out and said, Lonzo Ball, we don't expect to have him next season. Arturas Karnisovas also said, yeah, I think the Vucevic trade worked out pretty well for us. So, like, he's just an idiot.
Glad I'm not a Bulls fan.
I did an article on it. What, being a Bulls fan?
Right now, it's bad luck to just, like, for the Bulls, the Lonzo thing is terrible. He was great for them in 5 games he played, then he tears his meniscus, and he's never played again. He might never play again.
I know. That Vuce quote is just – this was a quote from Karnisovas on Vucevic. I think that transaction, when we brought in Vuce here, showed everyone we're trying to win. I think once we brought Vuce, we brought in DeMar, we brought in Caruso, we brought in Lonzo. That started trying to improve our team and trying to be competitive. I thought that deal worked out pretty well for us.
Yeah, the Bulls are nasty.
It was Wendell Carter, Otto Porter, Franz Wagner, and Jet Howard for Nikola Vucevic. You know what? You know what that trade got them? 1 playoff win. That's all they've had since. How are you gonna?
This should just be like a clip of us just laughing at the Bulls. 135. There you go.
How are you gonna sit in front of the media and say a quote that you know all of your fans are gonna hear? Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. Yeah, I think
power rankings of GMs lying to the media. Dunleavy, Riley, and this guy go.
Lying. Well, the issue is, I think Karnisovas actually believes it. That's the problem.
Who's the greatest NBA liar of all time? Is it still Kyrie?
Probably Pat Riley.
Yeah.
He's probably up there. We actually have interest in this player. We almost did this deal. We almost did this. We want Al Horford. We want Grant Williams. We want this. We want. I'm sorry. Mike Dunleavy saying 4 more years of Poole is just so good. Just to trade him the next day to the Cap.
Every time you say that, I imagine him trying to start like a 4 more years chant at a political rally.
Yeah, so we expect to have 4 more years of Jordan Poole.
It's just
literally
Poole, like he's just sitting up there all uncomfortable, and like he's trying to get the media to chant 4 more years, like when the Red Sox won in 2013 and they tried to start a chant. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so, vaguely. Yeah. What they chant? Were they just like,
"Let's go Red Sox"? And it's
no
like
one
the
cared.
old ass owner trying to get the crowd going.
Oh my! They just won the World Series and no one cared. It's just literally 4 more years of Poole. 2 days later, like less than a week, boom, see you, buddy. Chris Paul.
Get ready to learn the presidents, buddy.
Oh man, no, I still can't get over it. It's just the way that it's phrased. You could say, "Yeah, it worked out pretty good for us." I think I did, and it's not even that like the trade was good. He's like patting himself. Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job with that one.
Yeah. We just laughed at the Bulls for like 3 minutes.
He got torn to shreds on Twitter. I just saw something. It says, "I've been staring at this quote for 10 minutes and I still don't believe it's real." I forget who it was. It was excuse me. It was oh man, who was it? Rob something. No, I can't remember. There's somebody who had just a great quote about Ricky O'Donnell tweeted about the what's it called? The Bulls quote. And it was I'm trying to find it. I'll find it quick so we can move on to the rat list. Oh yeah, I've been staring at this quote in disbelief for 14 hours. Oh man. All right. Let's we can stop laughing at the Bulls. We literally just laughed at the Bulls for 4 minutes straight. And you know, the Bulls can be on the rat list to kick off the rat list, but it is time for the rat list. Would you like to kick us off, sir, or shall I?
All right.
Kick
Rat
us
list.
off.
This restaurant my girlfriend Kayla and I went to today, it does
Yes.
not. So this restaurant is on the top floor of it's like a hotel restaurant kind of. Like you need to
Is it
like
in
go
the
through
hotel you're
elevators.
staying at?
No, it's not. We had to go to a
Okay.
different one.
No.
But the bathroom on this top floor, they only have a men's room. So if she had to go to the bathroom, she had to go downstairs to use the elevator and then go down a whole floor to like there's no women's room on the top floor on in the restaurant.
Get ready to learn the stairs, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Can you believe
terrible.
that?
That's some cancel them. How are they not canceled yet? What are we doing here? Cancel the restaurant.
That's crazy. I cannot believe they're getting away with this thing. Like just slap like a neutral sign on the door and put a lock on it, and everybody wins.
Yes, agree. That sucked. My rat list, back to the golf course. This is all I'm going to be talking about all summer. Get ready to learn golf, buddy. I love that meme now. I'm going to hammer it into the ground until it's dead. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, me too. It's like I'm addicted to the Adam Silver meme.
It's great. I don't know how familiar you are with golf. So you can play like a best ball scramble, right? Where like if you're a group of 4, everybody hits, you take the best shot, everyone hits from that spot, you take the best shot, everyone hits from that spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there were 2 groups in front of us. My brother Henry and I were playing with these 2 randoms we got paired with. They were cool. They're nice enough guys. The 2 groups in front of us are like competing against each other in a scramble. We think that's what we hypothesized. But they're not good enough to be doing that. They were terrible. And so they were just every time they would all hit pretty bad shots, but then they'd spend an extra 5 minutes. They would get out of their carts. They'd walk up to the green. They'd stand like this. They'd go, which ball should we take? And so we're sitting there waiting to tee off. And we're just sitting there. We're like,
dude,
what
golf
are you doing?
is such a pretentious game. Like you're
It's
gonna
awful.
every time you go golfing, you get a new rat list because it's just a bunch of people have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a very calculated game. It's a slow game, and everybody's in everybody's way.
Yep. You're going golfing soon, right?
Yeah. I get to go golfing for this wedding I'm in.
We might have to practice. You want to hit the links once? Get a little practice round in with me?
I don't have time for that.
What do you mean you don't have time for that? Come
Busy
on.
guy.
We'll
see.
Off. You're not a busy
We'll
guy.
see. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't have clubs. I got to figure it out.
You can use Henry's. Fuck him. He can stay home.
Sorry, Henry. He's probably
No,
got sleep to catch up on. Right?
I'm kidding, Henry. Actually, I was texting my buddy Tanner today and I asked him if he wanted to golf. And his response to me was, I gotta look because it was, he goes, I heard you talking about on the podcast, a lot of rats on the greens these days. So thank you, Tanner, for listening. Okay, your turn. You got another rat list? What you got?
NBA draft rat list.
I knew.
They wasted 3.5 hours of our time yesterday. Again, whole draft could have just been an email. Didn't need to have the whole meeting. ESPN rats. I think their coverage of it is kind of trash too.
That's a phenomenal tweet. The NBA draft should just be a long email. And
it should be.
That's a good tweet.
Obvious rat list. You go ahead, actually.
Rat list. Guy at Wendy's. I got Wendy's today because I was hungry and Henry was going to get a haircut. I dropped him off the haircut place, ran to Target, got a nice golf polo actually, which I like. The polos at Target are very comfy. Got that, got Dunkin' because someone wanted coffee, went home. My mom wanted coffee, got Wendy's. It was going to be perfect timing, except the car in front of me sat at the window complaining about who knows what for 5 minutes. In the Wendy's drive-thru, just bitching. He handed like money back and forth
this
4
is a
times.
Wendy's.
Literally, that's what I'm saying. It was terrible. So Ratless, excuse me, that guy for making me wait extra long. It was annoying.
Ratless, I don't know. I think Buzz is the name of the mascot, the Hornets mascot. Last night at their big, huge draft party in this,
Hugo,
in their
his name's
whatever
Hugo.
their arena is, Hugo. Yeah, Hugo the Hornet. Devastated when they picked Brandon Miller. That can't make you feel good if you're Brandon Miller. Like, Brandon Miller's already kind of eyeing his options in restricted free agency 4 years from now. Is Brandon Miller going to be the new Zion, where he just hates the franchise he plays for? Maybe he gets fat out of spite.
Here you go, Sam.
Look at him, that rat, Hugo.
The Charlotte Hornets select Brandon Miller.
Oh, you can't even see it because the rat's in the way. Wait.
Like, Hugo the Hornet literally does a head and hands.
Look at him. Watch the head drop as soon as it happens.
The Charlotte Hornets select Brandon Miller.
Head and hands. That was me when we found out the Celtics traded their pick for the 10th time yesterday.
That's amazing. He's just mad. He's very mad.
Our reaction to them trading the pick has to be gold.
Oh, it gets better every time.
Wanted to be done so bad. It was so hot in my room.
And I was excited for Colby Jones. That's the guy I wanted. And then
that you got on that one. I wanted Sasser, and I was like, oh my god, they picked Sasser.
I know. I have to put myself on the rat list too. I spent the entire draft party. Don't look at the Celtics pick. Don't look at the Celtics pick. And then when it came up, I accidentally looked at my phone, so I knew the Sasser pick before it started. So ratless myself. That's all I got though. I'm tuckered out.
Surprisingly did not have any ratless moments on the plane or in the airport. Pretty smooth process. Yeah. Kim English, PC coach on my flight.
Oh, I did have a rat list. It's a driving rat list again. So I'm going through a red light, right? Coming this way. The traffic's speeding by, so I inch my way out during the green light so I can go regardless at the end, right? So there's a car behind me. I'm trying to turn left here. And it turns yellow, so I'm like, okay, I finally have a chance. Car comes speeding past the other way, blows through a red light. So I'm stuck in the middle of the intersection. No, it was, I'm usually good for them, get through the yellow light. Was not a yellow light anymore. Was so clearly not a yellow light anymore.
Sometimes the rules you gotta make your own rules. Sometimes you're busy, you gotta get somewhere.
It was not even close to a yellow light. The only reason they went is because they saw I was in the middle, so nobody would hit them. They would know I was the one who was going to die if I got hit. All right, we can wrap. Well, let's Sam and Kaylin doesn't have to listen to us talk anymore.
She got to listen to the podcast early.
Yeah, she's getting the live reaction.
I think we had a good show today.
Except it was good.
Hear you talk, so it was just me babbling. Yeah.
Kaylin puts you on the rat list. I had to listen to this idiot for an hour. That's all I got. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you. 5 stars on Apple and on Spotify. You know the drill by now. Leave a comment on the YouTube videos. Those are my favorites. I love reading them. Please comment. I love the back and forth. I'll let Sam take us home.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, you're on the YouTube, make sure you subscribe. We've got a ton of new ones over the last, week. Make sure you hit the notification bell. as well. Nice rhyme there. Make sure you don't miss any of our new uploads. We are doing daily stuff, but this week has been crazy. We uploaded probably 3 extra videos over the course of the week, stuff we weren't supposed to upload. So you might have missed those, even though like nobody did. Everybody watched those.
Yeah.
On top of that, if you want more of us, follow the streaming services. You can just hear us on the audio. What is it?
Up to 554 subscribers right now.
Oh,
nuts.
We made it. Almost. Not really.
We're over halfway there. We're on track.
Okay. Follow us, Spotify, Apple. Make sure you don't miss any new uploads there. 5-star ratings only. You can follow the socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You'll get all the live streams there. That monstrosity of a draft stream is probably up on the page. You can follow Jack at Jack Simone NBA.
Tic-taco. Come on. Taco.